toning.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the AMPED SMP. Follow the game. There we go. Welcome back. That's a little new, but hopefully it wasn't overbearing. If the music is a bit quiet and you guys would rather hear it a little bit better, just let me know. Of course, music is not mandatory. Let me just get a few things set up. Alright. Alright, there we go, that works. Alright, just need to make sure that everything's visible on my side. Here pretty soon, Treedy should be getting on. But for now, it's just me. Been doing pretty good in terms of, progressing and, like towards subscriber count. We've almost made it to 50, which is amazing. Wouldn't have expected that to happen. Especially as fast as it has been. I have too much cobblestone. I don't need this much cobblestone. Oh! Yep, that wasn't very great, but... I have a staircase. And no food. I need to really solve my food problem. That should probably be top of the agenda as opposed to, you know, make big house. Clearly 4th episode in and I'm still over here being like, how can I make the biggest house possible? I need to make a farm up here. New axe. Let me go over here and make a new axe. Yeah, I'm able to use music in my streams and videos now, specifically from Monster Cat. So, if anybody has any suggestions from for music by Monster Cat or rather published by Monster Cat. Anybody who's under Monster Cat, there's a solid chance that I can use their music. Saying use their music sounds awful. Utilize is probably the word that I want to use, because I'm utilizing their music, not using it. But, you know, potato potato. But, I need to get going on setting up some means of having a renewable food source, because it's a little important. So let me rip out a huge portion of this. Start boring my way over here. Set up. Yeah. I was really confused about like how difficult it would be in terms of trying to get a like royalties from music, but apparently it's really easy. All you had to do is just cough up some money and then you have access to it. That's not a great thing that I just heard. I could definitely do with some bed. Unfortunately, I don't have a bed. I also don't have a sword because I'm smart. Totally get one of those. I know that a lot of people were upset whenever you could no longer block. Okay, yeah, that's not working out. I'm just gonna have to wait for the weather to clear over. Yeah, this server pretty much runs all the time, so I have no idea what day it's on. I know that it tells you what day somewhere. I don't know where it keeps that information. That's a crap ton of information that shows up whenever I look over that. Dripstone replaceable block. Cool. But as soon as you make it cobble, can't do a whole lot to it. Might as well schmelt some of this copper. I need some buckets. Bruh. Alright. Never noticed that pillar of floating dirt over there. I'm gonna navigate over towards some water. I've decided against the 30 billion floors idea, at least for now. There might come a time where I'm like, you know what, yeah, 30 billion floors. But, you know, of course, the problem with gigantic Minecraft buildings is that you have to sacrifice some amount of, you know, usability in a building, you know, in favor of, you know, just having big empty rooms or rooms literally just dedicated to roleplay or whatever, because you can only have so many, you know, dedicated rooms for dedicated things until it just becomes, you know, it just becomes a hassle to deal with, you know? Where you're sitting there and you're just like, okay, cool, I need to go to the crafting portion of the building, and then you walk 30,000 blocks to get to that thing, or like, okay, cool, now I need to get to the brewery section, and then you spend a bunch of time trying to get to that. Which, I was realizing that whenever I was making the thing. Need to get some wool. And I need to get some water. Both of those things would be very useful to me. A lot of glow lichen on the side of the mountain. I never noticed that. So there's a sheep. There's a zombie, which immediately sees me. The aggro range of zombies is nuts. Ever since they've like improved the zombie AI, it's been kind of crazy. And that's a baby zombie, and that's like the worst. I'm not trying to confront anything really. Oh, and there's a creeper. Alright. Problem solved. You can't stack water buckets, can you? Yeah, you can't. Alright. Oh, there's a pretty nice cave over by his house. Suck it, nerd. Hey, what's going on, Circle? Just started the stream. Tell me if the music is too quiet. You can see what song is playing in the top left and presumably hear it in the background. I'm not entirely certain if you can. There's a solid chance. Yeah, I'm currently at Treedy's house right now. I tried to go and get some water, but it's nighttime and I'm starving. So I'm going to ransack his house for any food that he may or may not have. Yeah, seeds, which I want. I do want seeds. This is new. I don't remember this. Are you using deep slate and cobblestone? Just interchangeably? Kinda whack. Anyway. But, oh, hi. Are you a passive mob now? Nope. I need to replant these. Have some dirt in exchange for the wheat. You clearly don't seem to be having a food crisis. I can't hear I can hear the music, but it's a bit quiet. Is that better? Because I'm using like a Go XLR, so I have a lot of fine-tuned control over how the audio comes through. But in terms of streaming, I do not really. It's kind of a little bit meh. Alright. But it's daytime. The majority of things are going to burn over by where my house is. But I was mostly on a quest for water. Now I'm gonna go for the optional objective of find sheep. Once I find sheep, I can make bed, and once I can make bed, I can sleep. Skeleton's just kind of accepted his fate, man. Just jump, there's water. Yeah, but if you have any suggestions for music I should add to the playlist, because it's just Monster Cat, that's pretty much all I have access to. So, if you know any things that are published by Monster Cat, so whether it be like Pegboard Nerds, Noise Storm, or like Tokyo Machine, people like that. Bro, the packing for the trip took more time than I expected to take. That's the thing about like packing, it takes deceivingly long to get ready for anything. Like I would remember I would get ready to like sleep over at like my grandma's house or something like that whenever I was younger, and it would take a surprising amount of time, even though it was like I'm only going to be spending like a day there. The amount of needs that are necessitated by, you know, people, and especially, you know, modernly, like, you know, teeth brush, toothpaste, you know, mouthwash, maybe floss, you know, stuff that you have to keep with you to be able to, you know, make sure that you are, you know, clean and, you know, sanitary, you know, just multiple different changes of clothes, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you had to bring with you everywhere. And sometimes there's just a lot of stuff they had to bring with you just on a day-to-day basis, you know, like a phone, wallet, keys, you know. Yeah. I wouldn't expect that. There's Noise Storm publishes a surprising amount of music, pretty much all EDM. I don't know if they really do anything aside from that. I'm pretty sure it's mostly genre specific. But I went on there and I'm like, oh, it's literally like a third of the price of most licensing costs, and it's music that, you know, at least some people will recognize, because not Tokyo Machine, but Monster Cat usually sponsors games like Beat Saber and Rocket League. So, it's something that people will notice. And there's Crab Rave, so there's that. I have slaughtered 3 sheep for their wool and not for their meat, and I am happy about it. I don't know why I'm trying to scale my mountain. I should just walk down it and go to the entrance. Yeah, but Tyler should be on at about 12 minutes, so should have access to some of his content soon. But probably gonna have him really try to direct people towards my streams if they're planning on having any sort of live streamed content. I want to say next week. You know some? Alright, just put them in the comments and like in like a list, and I'll see if I can find them, or you can add them in the Discord, just wherever you want to add them to be able to give me like things to add, and I'll slap them together in the my list of songs that I can potentially use. But of course the songs have to be, you know, permitted for me to be able to use them, you know. It's quite a few. There's a lot that Monster Cat allows you to do, but there's a lot that they don't as well, so. The thing that's crazy, I didn't expect, because the Monster Cat players where I, you know, have access to all the things, I can listen to songs that I can use and that I can't use, which is a bit of a tease, but, you know, I can use them, the ones that I can use, and you can download all their music, and it's lossless audio, which is surprising. I would expect it to have, like, some sort of amount of data compression, but you can download, like, WAVs and FLACs, which just mean huge audio files, like, gigantic. Like, to give you an idea of it, basically like a, where's it called, Lauren? You should light them up. Yeah, I know Light 'em Up probably won't be in there just because I think that's Fall Out Boy and so is Centuries. Light 'em Up and Centuries are by Fall Out Boy. The rest of them aren't particularly recognizable by me, but I can find out. But pretty much, like, if you ever are, like, scrolling through, like, Spotify or whatever your music platform of choice is, and you see a song that you like, and somewhere on that album cover there's, like, a Monster Cat logo on it, the odds are I might be able to use it. Solid chance that I can use it, that's pretty high. That's not how physics works. Speed bridging. Dang. Would you look at that? Just ran out of wood. Or slamp down some more wood. I need to remember what, like, the optimized pattern for making a farm is, because I know, generally speaking, you don't just make giant lines of water to be able to have the best quantity of stuff. But for now, I'm gonna need an infinite water source. Gonna give me the smallest one I possibly can. There we go. So I know one there. I can't remember. It goes like 3 blocks out, right? So in theory, 1, 2, 3. I could put one here. Because that would be 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. Well, that would be something, but I'm gonna have to remember. Oh, and Rise Warriors by Imagine Dragons. Enemy by Imagine Dragons. So I know that, pretty sure Rise is from the League of Legends playlist. I know Enemy is. I liked that song before it was cool, and Warriors, pretty good as well, but I know those are in Beat Saber, but I don't believe that, trying to think. I don't believe Monster Cat has access to those. I think that's like EBM records or something like that, so if I use those, I would get in trouble. And the objective is not to get in trouble. How far does water go farming in Minecraft? 4 blocks away. Okay, cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if I 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that could not be any more convenient. Like, there's no way that could be any more convenient. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? I promise I did not count this. I swear. This is super accidental. I just built a box. Actually, wait. Why did I have 2 buckets? Oh. Actually, I'm gonna have to... Well, no, I'm gonna probably have to keep that just because I want a water source. I'll probably come up with a better place for it at some point, but for now, that works. Dirt. But, yeah, all those songs that you suggested, I wish I could use. I know a lot of them, and I do like a lot of them. The issue is being allowed to use them. And my demon flies. So I can't remember the others, and I remember I'll put them in Discord. Yeah. Only sleep at night or during thunderstorms. Yeah. So, I'm gonna test this, because it says 4 blocks. And I feel like I did that correctly. I'm gonna need 2 of these, I think. I think I'm gonna obliterate the first one. Take the torches off. But, I'm hoping that this works properly. I feel like it should, I mean... Oh, no. Absolutely not. It's nighttime now, nerds, so I sleep. I sleep. You can stop me once, but you can't stop me forever. Perish, nerds. I accidentally deleted my playlist. Oh yeah. Yeah, my playlist is pretty much on Spotify. I'm pretty much adding anything that I would normally listen to that's published by Monstercat to the Monstercat player, which is what's playing music right now. But basically, Spotify is my player of choice, and I haven't deleted, like, almost any song that I've added on there. There's been a few where it's like, okay, I'm tired of it. I added this one as a meme, like Big and Chunky by Will Smith for Moto Moto in Madagascar, you know, that one. When that song became a meme again, I was like, yeah, I kinda like it. I added it, and then I removed it. I was like, I've had enough. I've had enough memes in my life. So I stopped it for a little bit. So far, this seems to be correct. I mean, that's directly parallel to this side, so, I mean, it appears to be right, at least. And I was very close to being right on the fact that this one was going to get destroyed. It has 4 durability left. That's 4 blocks of dirt. There we go. Problem solved. Oh, it's raining. That's gonna help this particular block of dirt get its water. But, yeah. I'm just solving my food problem now. Just because I need to. I've been running out not solving my food crisis for a little too long. I should add a fence there. I should make it harder to die. Sounds like a good idea, you know, not dying. I can't remember, is this... Well... I'm going to attempt to remember how to fence. I think this is fence. Yeah! Okay, I got 6. 18 fences. That's a solid amount of fences. Dang. But hey, harder to die. Oh, and these trains is now 1 hour late. Thank God, otherwise it would have been such a pain. Bro, these mobs are getting so smart, especially the zombies. Dude, whenever they updated zombies, like back in like 1.15 or something like that, it was crazy because zombies used to just be like the most like meh, whatever, you know, problem ever. And then they made it to where it's like, oh yeah, zombies will summon other zombies and they'll wear armor and they will try to swarm you and they can see you from a lot further away. It's like, what? It's like you just made like the biggest meh obstacle into the game into like a serious problem, because I remember whenever I tried to start my channel forever ago, I made a video in a Let's Play world that got corrupted like the day that I played it, and I was like, okay, this never happens. But basically, after that, I pretty much, I tried to fight some zombies off, right? But the problem was, is that there was like it was like 1, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's not a big deal. And then it was 2, and I'm like, okay, that's a little bit of a problem. And then it was 20, and I'm like, that's a big problem. That's a really big problem, actually. And now they updated it again at 1.19. They did it again. What are Mojang? A bunch of war criminals? What I want them to do is bring back the minecart update. There was an update that they had for minecarts, which I'm sure that if they brought it back now, it would be more welcome than ever. But a while ago, like a few years ago, like Notch was still working with Mojang at the time, I think, there was a update that was experimental. It only made it to the snapshot phase, where basically they made it to where minecarts didn't really have a speed cap, but they could get derailed. Which basically meant that, like, minecarts could go, like, really fast, but at the cost of, if you didn't make your tracks correct and you didn't utilize, you know, powered rails as brakes and stuff like that, you would fly off. But the issue was is that people didn't like it because it would effectively ruin all the roller coaster maps people made, so they didn't add it to the game, and I was upset because you can just remove updates. You can just, like, not update your game. I was fighting the warden and I killed a zombie while fighting the warden and like 50 came out of nowhere. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I don't know why Mojang's really taking this game and like, I remember this game used to be like haha funny easy survival game that you can build a lot in. Like, I remember years ago, back when this game was like first coming out, they were like, oh yeah, zombies drop feathers. And so do chickens, because food's not in the game yet. You know? Or rather, food was in the game, it was just hunger wasn't in the game, so food was a little bit weird. And I think chicken used to give you poison if you didn't cook it, but now it doesn't, which is... Are you taking away from my realism? It's ruining my immersion. But, I could probably deal with collecting a few skeletons. Is it turning nighttime again? This one block. What's wrong with you? Get wet. Oh, look at that. There's a guy right there. I think that guy can get you. Nah, he can't get you. It's just this guy. Why am I drilling in this mountain? So, poor mountain. Yeah, so basically, I like mountain bases. I apparently also like sleeping in the rain. But I spawned in, I turned around, I saw this mountain, and I'm like, yes. The original plan was to just come up here, you know, level this playing field and pretty much make this where I would just smack a house on top of it. But the problem is that, like, if you look over there at that neighboring mountain, right? It's a little taller, right? And, you know, like, the top of that tree, that's pretty much the build limit, right? So, there's not a lot of room for going up. So what do you do when you can't go up? You go down. It's not really how it works in real life, but it's how it works in video game, and I'll take it. Because why wouldn't I? But here pretty soon I'm gonna use these stone bricks that I've certainly cannibalized from this mountain. And I'm going to turn this and that down there into a room. And I'll probably get a better method for getting up and down the mountain than stairs or ladders. But he took my torches with him. And 3 stone. Stone's very valuable to me, I'll let you know, Mr. Creeper. You've ruined my day. But and as a result of just tearing through this mountain, I've gotten quite a few resources from it. Do I have a lot of those resources now? No, because as it would turn out, destroying a mountain costs a lot of resources. And that creeper's jamming out. You like the music? Cool. But I don't need all that coal. It's just gonna fall off anyway. I do need this for some torches. But basically, like right there, you can't really see it because of the amount of fog and how high up we are, because amplified worlds do be that. There is that's where spawn is. And there's pretty much, when you spawn in looking at an ocean, which is over there, and then you pretty much turn around and go over there. Creepers be like, if I go down, I will take torch and 4 stone down with me. Yeah, I remember whenever like I found out that creepers like took materials when they blew up, I was like, that is the worst. Which, I think that alone is pretty much all it took to be able to make, like, the worst mob in the game. It didn't take much. But it still took something. I need to find a cave or something. I haven't really gone mining, to say. Don't get me wrong, I come into contact with a lot of iron. But I need to get diamonds, you know? I need to get access to some diamonds. I know mining is completely different. I thought about strip mining, and then I'm like, wait, that don't work no more. I mean, it does, but it doesn't yield great results. But, you know, you do what you gotta do. I remember when creepers were first added into Minecraft, they were goofy the way that they used to work. Instead of being like, you know, they just walked up and, you know, just hissed and boomed at you, they would punch you. Oh, yeah, you know this one? Yeah, I think Monster Cat like randomly started playing this one for me, and I'm like, ooh, I like it. To be fair, solid chance it might be in Rocket League. A very solid chance. Them Rocket League developers certainly do like their EDM. But I don't know if you like listen or play Rocket League. I know Rocket League has gone down in popularity, but I think one of the best things Rocket League ever did for their career was going free to play on PlayStation for PlayStation Plus that 1 month, like, years ago. Because I don't think if it did that, it wouldn't be nearly as popular as it is now. Because Rocket League used to be a paid-for title. I don't know if it still is, but I thought I remember hearing that it went free to play. Which is not surprising. It's a solid business model for a game like that. I play Rocket League There's a mobile version? I didn't know that. Is it like made by the developers, or is it like a game made by another studio? Like that's kind of like Rocket League. Because Rocket League does seem like the kind of game that a lot of people would copy. Oh wow, I still have ladders. I thought I ran out of ladders, but I didn't. It's made by the developers for PC and console. It's called Rocket League Sideswipe. Sideswipe. Alright. Yeah, I know that a lot of games tend to get like mobile knockoffs. Like I remember like all of the Minecraft clones that were on mobile. You gotta kind of be careful with like app stores and stuff like that because you never really know what you're getting into. As well as just the amount of games that are like viruses back, like whenever the Android app store was like first becoming a thing. And there's a lot of stuff on there that is like, you look at the app permissions and you have to really think about it and be like, okay, riddle me this, but why does this Minecraft skin creator need to know my social security number? It's not like 3D, it's kind of a 2D type. Yeah, I think right now at least, the best style of game. Ooh. Okay. The best style of game for mobile play is probably 2D. I don't think 3D handheld gameplay is really there. I mean, as soon as you get like, you know, analog sticks on the phone, you know, it makes sense, but you know, that's not entirely feasible, not to mention analog sticks don't particularly like being jammed in someone's pocket, you know? Yeah. Hope they make it 3D and give us crossplay. Yeah, crossplay is always really interesting whenever they add crossplay to a game. Like, I remember, one of the things that I was really excited for whenever I first heard about it, because, like, years ago, whenever they first, like, pretty much announced Bedrock Edition Minecraft, and, like, the things that it could do, like, I remember whenever they added it, and they're just like, oh yeah, so Xbox players and PC players can play Minecraft together, and when I first heard about that, I was like, that's crazy. Like, that was nuts. And then they're just like, okay, and now phones can play with them, and it's like, how can a phone even handle the same task? And then they jumped up and they're just like, cool, you thought phones was cool? How about this? Nintendo Switch. And it's like, oh. And then everybody was pretty much just looking at PlayStation like, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do it? And then Sony was like, no. And it's like, bro, Nintendo did it. Why aren't you? You know, but Sony's kind of always been in a weird state of like hyper aggressiveness. But, you know, to be honest, it's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing, you know? It's always nice being able to play games with your friends regardless of what decision you made, right? I can respect people liking Xbox over PlayStation or PlayStation over Xbox. I chose the PlayStation 3 when the Xbox 360 was clearly the better option. But, you know, I just prefer the PlayStation 3. You know, you can't judge someone for that. But, you know, the thing that sucked as a result of having a PlayStation 3 was, you know, not being able to play games with my friends. You know, because the majority of my friends had, you know, Xbox 360 or whatever. You know, the majority of my real life friends. You thinking of playing any other games on this channel? Yeah, so there's Superliminal, right? I got that. I fixed DaVinci Resolve. So after the stream is over, the final episode of Superliminal is going to get released. That video is closer to 30 minutes. So I'm probably gonna stop streaming at about 5 and then publish that. I'll maybe stop streaming at 5. I might go a little longer depending on when Tyler starts. But then that's gonna get published. Superliminal, the final episode, episode 4. Game's not particularly long. And then after that, I'm gonna look into some other games to play. So, like, since Superliminal's done and that was a puzzle game, I could go back and play Portal 2. If that's something that people would be interested in. I don't know, because Portal 2's kind of, been, played a lot by a lot of people. I've even played Portal 2 a few times. But, like, there's a lot of games that I could play. Pretty much, if you go... pretty much any game that you suggest, I'm gonna look into it. But I do have plans on playing the Skyrim Together mod. Because Skyrim Together just got its full release. So there's gonna be a multiplayer Skyrim pretty much. So I have me and one of my buddies are looking into that, and we're going to probably start a series on that. I know I am. I don't know if he is. He might just be on my end. How about Fortnite, Apex Legends, or Fall Guys? I don't know if I'm going to play Fortnite just because, Fortnite at this point is so far beyond my skill set that if I went in there, it'd kind of be like banging my head against a wall. I might play Apex Legends sometimes. That is within my skill bracket. And Fall Guys, I don't know if Fall Guys is my type of game. Apex Legends is a definite maybe. Fall Guys, I'm not entirely certain of yet. I'll have to look into that. I'll have to get a group of people to play it with, Which, that's going to be a little bit of a chore, because the types of games that me and my friends usually play, trying to get people to play Minecraft is sometimes a bit of a stretch. But, Fall Guys might not be too big of a stretch to ask some people to play, but Fortnite is pretty much a no. I played Fortnite a few years ago, and I just couldn't get into it. If I can't enjoy the game, then I'm not going to make videos on it, because if I try to make videos or content of any kind with it, the issue is that, I'm not going to be interested in the game. I'm going to be kind of boring to watch, and as a result, I can't grow. Which, right now, my biggest limiting factor in terms of growth is my username. Because YouTube does this really goofy thing where, especially with, names that have, the word round in it, seeing how my username is round, I have to wait until I get to a certain subscriber count, 100, and then I can, be recommended to people, on a channel basis. Because even though my username is really, really clean, there's a lot of people that have round in their name, like round table, round something, whatever. So pretty much what I need to do is I need to lock in that, so that way I can, actually, grow. As well as the fact that my channel is technically really old. I think it's, like 2017 is the channel age. It's just not until recently that I've actually started uploading. So my channel basically has a really low ranking status on YouTube right now, which is probably one of the biggest reasons why Treedy is so much higher than I am in terms of, getting people to watch his content. But I do have a plan. I pretty much have like a script in place for another video that I'm going to make about Titanfall 2. I might do some more Risk of Rain 2, especially if they do an update. Risk of Rain, solid game, I love it. I have no doubt that you can go against PC players in Fortnite. It's just Fortnite, like for me, the biggest issue, like I know that there's now a mode where building isn't allowed, but for me, the most part, it's a bit of a completely different mindset that I would have to get into, to where it's like, oh cool, I'm gonna shoot a guy, and then he's gonna turn into a skyscraper, and then I have to turn into a skyscraper, or I'm at a huge disadvantage. So that kind of style of gameplay is kind of like melted. Like I can't do it. It's just beyond my level of gameplay. But anybody who enjoys it, I can't fault them for it. But there's also a few business practices that I don't like about Fortnite, which I'm not gonna get into. But basically, there's a few things that Fortnite does that I do not like. But, I'm pretty sure, that can be said about any video game, right? Like Minecraft. I don't like that they didn't add the fireflies just because frogs can't eat them. it would have cost them like nothing to add them. You know, they already pretty much were in a working state. All they had to do is just make it to where the frogs can't eat them. You know, but they didn't add them, so we don't have our magical flying 2 pixels. But, you know, that's the same thing with every game, you know. Every game has problems, which, you know, in the end, it's like, are they really problems? Because video games are technically an art medium, so to go out and be like, this game bad because this is, you know, it's a little bit of on the meh side, but, you know, still, you can criticize games. Art is able to be criticized. You don't have to feel bad for criticizing anything. Anything that's worthwhile and anything that can be good can be criticized. Don't ever feel like you can't criticize something. Like, if there's something that I do that you don't like, if there's anything that I do that you guys don't like, tell me about it, criticize me, and I'll work on improving it. Because I'm not going to be able to improve if I'm not told what's wrong. They could have made the chance of frogs eating fireflies low, but they didn't. Yeah, I know that, let's be real, right? The reason why they didn't add fireflies into the game was because when frogs eat fireflies in real life, it's poisonous to them, right? And it's like, yeah, but here's the thing. It's a video game, you know, you don't necessarily, you know, I get that it could potentially be bad information, right? Because, you know, some people could have, like, some kids could have, like, a pet frog, and then they see a frog in the game Minecraft, you know, eat a firefly, and they're like, oh, cool, they go outside, catch some fireflies, and try to feed it to the frog, and then the frog dies, and then they're sad, you know? But, you know, I don't think that, you know, people necessarily look at Minecraft as, like, the peak of standardized education, you know? I don't run for my life to get back inside of my house because every night skeletons emerge from the ground and then they burn in sunlight and turn into nothing, you know? Minecraft isn't necessarily, like, you know, it's a fantasy game. There is aspects of realism in the game, you know, where it's like you don't just put a tree down and then it happens. But, you know, it would take time, but we could have gotten our magical friends, yeah. LAs. I just remembered that the LAs are in the game. I don't know exactly how you get the LA. I know that they are kind of useful. Huh. Yes, Giga Tree. But definitely interested in I'm interested in what this game's gonna turn into in like 10 years. You figure that at some point they would have to stop, right? Because like this game's already like 11, 12 years old now, something like that. And, you know, they just keep adding on top of stuff over and over and over again. Bedrock Edition runs so well, in my opinion, I feel. I'm not a professional, but I think one of the reasons why Bedrock Edition runs so well is because it was rebuilt. It was a game, it was pretty much built from the ground up again, and it was on a newer, you know, code base, right? I mean, even the newer code base is a bit of a stretch. C# or C++, I think it uses C#, is about as old as Java is. They're pretty much the same age. But the difference is that, you know, Java Edition Minecraft has been around for those like 10 plus years, but Bedrock Edition has not. And, you know, due to Java Edition being so old, it's pretty much just compounding code on top of each other over and over and over and over again. It's been the same stuff multiple times over, just added repeatedly, like just so much stuff. So instead of it being where it's like, oh yeah, this game has like, you know, they updated the game to a point where it was good and then they stopped. They were like, no, 10 years worth of code getting smacked on top of each other. Who knows how much redundant code there is in Minecraft, you know? There's so much going on. Hey bud. Hey bud. But there's like so much code going on in Minecraft. Like I think I remember there being like splash text saying that there was like 10 million lines of code in the game or something like that, and it's like, that's crazy. Like, this game has so much work poured into it. You know, there has to be a point where they're like, okay, Java is no longer getting updates, right? And, you know, when that day comes, it's gonna suck. Like, I'll be upset. But it has to happen, right? Because, you know, Bedrock Edition runs better right now, but they're not pouring 100% of their development resources into it, right? Because, you know, they have, like, their big, like, one of their big lead developers, Jeb, working on Java Edition for the most part. I don't know if he works on anything else. They have a bunch of guys working on Java. But, they completely, you know, like, they're clearly invested in Bedrock Edition because it has, like, the infrastructure to be crossplay. It has a bunch of these really cool features. It has some features that not even Java Edition has. But the issue is that it's like, you know, the game has bugs. When it has bugs, they're bad, you know. But, you know, that's to be expected because they're working double time to pretty much make, you know, a game that, you know, has existed for a long time, and it has to have people that have, you know, not to, like, you know, say that they're bad, but they don't have as much experience as Jet does, most likely, you know, in terms of, like, trying to make this game, understand it, the fundamental building blocks of how this game is supposed to work, you know, and all that fun jazz. But, you know, it's just, you know, at some point, Bedrock Edition, which, you know, as quickly, like, cobbled together as it is, it just runs better because it's on a newer engine. It's definitely, I would say it's probably easier to develop for because I know JavaScript is considered a toy language. I don't know how different the mentality for Java is. JavaScript and Java are different. JavaScript's usually used for websites, which, weirdly enough, Java also runs in a web browser. And, you know, Minecraft Java Edition has a bunch of different problems where it's like, you know, under normal circumstances, Minecraft Java Edition won't use more than 2 gigs of RAM and won't use more than 1 core of your CPU, or 1 logical process of your CPU. And to give you an idea of how bad that is, my computer has 16. So the fact that it only uses, you know, like, none of that, not doing so good. So, you know, it's only a matter of time, right, until, you know, they have to stop, you know, updating Java so that way they can pour all their resources into the Bedrock Edition, you know. Or alternatively, have it kind of set up to where it's like they're incentivized to work on Java, but it's not their primary goal. You know, they have deadlines to hit, you know, with Bedrock Edition, which, you know, when and if that happens, I'm not going to be super stoked about it. I'm going to be upset, but, you know, it has to happen at some point, I feel. That or, you know, Minecraft's going to reach its, like, final days, and they're going to be like, okay, so we have the final update coming out. And that's pretty much it, right? Which, you know, that wouldn't surprise me either. You know, that has to happen at some point. But it'll be crazy if throughout the whole lifetime of Minecraft, like if they double the lifetime of Minecraft, and Minecraft has a 20-year game, that will be crazy. I would never expect that. But it would be really cool if it did happen, and it would be super cool if they could continue supporting Java and Bedrock at the same time. But, you know, I would never expect that to happen, especially seeing how they're now a Microsoft entity. You know, Microsoft owns Mojang. So, you know, you would have to figure out at some point, they would have to be like, yeah, just stop developing this version. Because, you know, Microsoft doesn't really gain a whole lot of capital from Java Edition existing anymore. The majority of Java accounts still exist, and they always have, and they always will. So this is the cave. The mine shaft that Tyler was talking about. Melon seed. That's a lot of gravel. But, yeah. Overall, I'm really happy with how this game has been going. It's been around for 10 years. It's really only improved. Like, of course, you know, the biggest gripe that people tend to have with this game is that, you know, the combat update happened and they haven't really done anything to try to change that. But I understand why they tried to change the combat, because, you know, pretty much just W plus M1 should never be a strategy. And I agree with that statement, you know? You know, I understand how Jeb felt. I understood his reservations for the W plus M1 strategy. Oh my god, that scared me. That bat scared me so much. Wow. I was not ready. Oh, that's fine. Blow up. Tower clean shopping here. But yeah, overall, this game's been pretty great. It's been an integral part of, you know, my childhood and just growing up overall. It's been there for 10 years, you know, so pretty much like half of my life. It's been here for more than half of my life, pretty much. But it's crazy, like, you know, like 10 years later, I'm still playing this game. You know, it might not be as often as it used to be, you know, back whenever I got this game for like PlayStation 3, or like I don't watch as much content as I used to, you know, back in like YouTube 2009 or whatever. You know, it's crazy how this game has like been around for this long. It's been, you know, existing. It's been striving. And, you know, you can't really say that about any other game. You know, like Rainbow Six Siege, you know, that game has a 10-year plan, or at least it had. I don't know if it still does. They want like 100 operators in that game by the time they're done with it. And is it going to survive to see that? I don't know. I wouldn't expect it to, but it, you know, I can't take it away that it's, you know, totally possible, right? Because Minecraft has proven that, you know, some random hole-in-the-wall game that exists can just become like a phenomenon, you know? Because who would expect that this game would get to be this big? I don't think anybody expected that. I mean, I certainly didn't. Whenever I saw this game come out, you know, forever ago, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And, you know, you go back and you look at those older versions of Minecraft, you know, you can run, like, some of the first versions of Minecraft to ever get released in a browser. And it's like, the fact that that, like, ever took off is crazy. Oh, dang. Oh. Okay, I'm not gonna be messing with that no more. I really don't know what I'm trying to do. Ooh. But it do be nighttime. I need like a lot less saplings in my inventory. I'm gonna sleep in Tyler's bed. I'm going to sleep in Tyler's bed. I want you to burn. I want your bones. Don't you dare go in the water. Don't you dare go in the water. You. Hey, creepers. Bruh. Yeah, but overall, I don't know what the plans for my videos are in the future. I do know that when Outlast Trials comes out, I'm gonna want to stream that. I'm probably gonna stream the whole game in one go. Oh, hi. Welcome back. Yeah, I was just talking about Minecraft for like a solid 20 minutes or something like that, but pretty much, I did remember that's something that I want to do. I want to play Outlast Trials, whenever it comes out, and I want to live stream that, which is definitely going to be a big juxtaposition to, you know, the games that are on my channel so far, basically being, you know, you went packing? How's packing going? But, I know that, like, Outlast Trials is going to be, like, a big juxtaposition to, you know, games that you can pretty much show to, like, a toddler. Nice. What's your, you going to a trip somewhere, or is it, like, a family visit or something? Check up on that farm up there, figure out what's going on. Goodness, it's finished. Get it. I know packing is like a chore. I did not enjoy, like, packing the few times I had to do it. To be honest, I don't like traveling. Traveling is definitely something that I'm not a huge fan of. I know some people really like traveling, going out and seeing the world, and it's like, I understand that, you know. I definitely would get some, you know, enjoyment out of, you know, seeing something. I do not enjoy the journey. You know, there's that saying, like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, or, like, it's about the journey, not the destination. I don't know, man. I don't like driving to Disneyland. I like being at Disneyland. I've never been to Disneyland, but the point still stands, you know? Man, these are not growing fast, like, at all. I do not want gravel. I need a lot more. Also, me neither. I've also never been to Disneyland. Yeah, like Disneyland, Disney World, you know, I haven't been to a lot of theme parks or like really big tourist attractions. I've been to a few though, but you know, overall, like my mentality on them has pretty much like always been the same, where it's like, yeah, I could spend $60 on, you know, going to like a water park or something like that. And yes, it's a valuable experience to have. But I definitely feel like I personally get more value out of like just like playing a game, enjoying some time spending it with my friends or whatever. You know, I'm not a huge proprietor of travel. Especially, you know, ever since, like, the whole COVID thing happened, you know, whenever that happened, I was like, oh no, whatever will I do except for the same thing I've been doing, you know? It's been like, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I have to stay inside of my house but I might ride my first roller coaster on my trip. Well, yeah, dude. This is the thing about roller coasters. I used to be very afraid of them, and then I rode one. And let me tell you, they're not as scary as people give them credit for. Are they scary? Yes, but they're not as scary as people, give them credit for. I will say that, it also depends on the roller coaster, right? But, for the one that I rode, at least, it was pretty tame. It only got up to like 60 miles per hour, which is pretty much like a car. I don't know if you know what 60 miles per hour is, but I think 60 miles per hour is 100 kilometers per hour. That's how fast that is, pretty much. It's like 101, 102, something like that. But it's not that fast. But the big thing about roller coasters, right, is that I've only been on upright roller coasters that would like tilt you. The biggest like tilt I was ever at was like an 85-degree angle. I've never been upside down on a roller coaster. So I don't really know what my limits are. Solid chance that being upside down might be my limit, but I don't know. I haven't been on extreme roller coasters like that yet, so it's a matter of time until somebody gets me on one of those. Cutting down the street. I do not like these big trees. Yes, they yield big wood, but I do not enjoy cutting them down. Alright, that tree's done. Yeah, but overall, I hope you have a good trip. Experiences like that are always a great thing to have, just because, they just are. It's, nice to be able to look back and be like, oh, I did that once. I did this thing. Regardless of, how big or small it is, always having experiences is important. Like, I've seen the roller coaster of the theme park I might go to, and I have the highest phobias, and I have height phobia. So this would be a huge accomplishment for me. Yeah, just keep in mind that, roller coasters, they pretty much have some really tight tolerances, right? Your odds of, getting hurt on a roller coaster are pretty low. But never zero. But they're very low, Like, really, the only place that I can really think of that you should never really get on the roller coasters at is Action Park. But Action Park's not a thing anymore, so you don't have to really worry about that. Action Park shut down forever ago. And that was an American theme park that was bad. A lot of people died there. Bad theme park. I don't know why everyone went, though. Everyone was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Action Park so that way I can die. Why? Why would you do that? I think Action Park had like quite a few cases where it was like, oh yeah, some dude hit his head on something while going down a slide, died. Some dude died while doing another thing. Next year, a guy died, and there was like one water slide that they tested with a crash test dummy, and they threw it down the water slide, and it decapitated the crash test dummy. Crash test dummies are a little bit more rigid than humans, just a little bit. I saw the theme park on YouTube. It's kind of new. It was built like 1.9 years ago, maybe 2.7. I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, a lot of theme parks pop up. A lot of theme parks shut down. There's a ton. Okay, this thing's still not. Oh wait, that thing's not tilled anymore. That's weird. But yeah, there's like a ton of different theme parks. Like, there's so much to experience. Like, I remember, like, whenever I was younger and stuff like that, like, for whatever reason, the schools that we went to, they always did these weird things where they're like, hey, we're gonna simulate a roller coaster, and then they just played a roller coaster on a big projector and, like, made us, like, lean in the direction that the roller coaster would have us go. I don't know why that was something that they did. There's probably something, like, some neuron activation that they were trying to trigger. But basically, we Like, there was a bunch of different roller coasters, and it would always show, like, the name of the theme park on these videos, right? And the thing that was crazy about it was that, like, there are so many theme parks. Like, I didn't know that there was that many. Like, I thought it was pretty much like, yeah, there's Six Flags, there's, like, Silver Dollar City, yeah, Disney. It's just like, I figured that it was like 3, and it's like, no, there's hundreds. there are tons of different theme parks, and it's something that you don't really realize. It's like, there are so many theme parks, and it's crazy, because you would figure, you know, at some point, you know, people would kind of get to the point where it's like, yeah, it's just a roller coaster. You know, people would kind of get tired and not want to, you know, go on, you know, roller coasters just because, you know, they're a little different, but they're like highly sought after. Like, something that I found crazy that I found out about like 2 or 3 years ago is that you're not allowed to bring a camera with you on a roller coaster anymore, because roller coasters are like patented. Like, the design, like the way that they travel is like completely trademarked. You can't record them, which is crazy to me. I would sit there and I was thinking, like, wait, you can't record a roller coaster just because the design is patented? It's kind of like that thing where, like, you can't take a picture of like the Eiffel Tower at night. But one moment, let me start this back up real quick, because the playlist just ended. But I don't really know any theme parks in Pakistan. This is the one I know about. Yeah, there's and now usually, you know, my life experience is pretty much talking about the United States, right? Because that's where I'm from, you know. So the United States, very consumerist economy. There's so many places to go where it's like, you just pay to be there, and there's just stuff for you to do. There's a lot of places like that. There's even food places that function like that, like buffets, where you go in, you pay a fee to basically be there, and you eat as much food as you want. That is probably the most American thing you've ever heard. I don't know if buffets are popular in other places in the world. I just know that they're very popular here. But basically, you know, there's a lot of places that you just, you know, some, like, even arcades, you know, like, arcades sound like a relic of the past, but there are tons of arcades that are still around, and some of them, you know, it's like you go in there and you pay for a weird converted currency that only works in that arcade, and you know, you play however many games that, you know, your currency gets you. But, you know, there's some arcades that in America that you go over, you pay to get in, and you just have free reign. You know, you can pretty much stay there until the building closes, and that's crazy. It's like, right? There's so many places that function like that. I keep breaking the wheat before it's ready, and I'm dumb for it. I'm so stupid. But you know, there's a lot of things that function like that, and it's kind of like it's very consumer friendly to a degree, right? There's some things that are kind of like that, like the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl is a big American football thing where you go there, you pay for a ticket fee, and you pretty much watch a sport. You literally sit there and you watch some big dudes slam into each other after a ball. And the thing that's crazy about that is, right, is like how much those tickets can be worth. Like, I think Super Bowl tickets easily go for like $2,000 plus, and people just eat it up. They're like, yep, that seems like a reasonable price. Which, you know, that kind of takes away from like what the value of sports are, you know, as, you know, what they were found, you know, meant to be. But, you know, that's something else. I'm not gonna really get into that. I'm not a sports expert. I'm not super big into sports. I just know that, you know, Super Bowl tickets being an outrageous price is kind of taken away from, like, what it means to be a sport. But luckily, some other football events are a lot cheaper to get into. But, you know, the one people care about, you know, the Super Bowl, people tend to not be allowed to go. There are people that watch the Super Bowl, not because they even care about sports. Like, there are people that are like, yeah, I watched the Super Bowl for the halftime show. Literally just to listen to some people, you know, sing, or like the ads, companies pay top dollar to put some ads in the Super Bowl, and they're like some of the weirdest ads. Like, I don't know why Mountain Dew thought it was okay to make the puppy monkey baby. I don't know what's up with that. That was weird. I remember when I saw that and I was like, why is this a thing? Why did they decide this? But they did. No take backsies. Can't take that back. That's a part of your permanent record now. I hope you like going down in history as that. I don't play football that much, but I do okay cricket a lot. See, the thing about cricket, right? Or like a lot of sports in general in America, I feel like the ignorance on a lot of sports that don't really have anything to do with, like, the obvious ones in America, right? Like football, or like football's a pretty obvious one. Basketball, where I accidentally typed Packy and autocorrect and changed it to okay. Yeah, but like the general knowledge that people have in America about like a lot of sports like cricket is pretty limited, right? Like there's a lot of education done to try to like spread the awareness of some of these sports. Like, one of my favorite sports that I ever played when I was in high school, which it wasn't like a team sport that was like endorsed by the high school. The high school would never endorse a sport like this, but pretty much handball was a really fun sport. It was basically like, I don't know if you've ever seen handball, but handball is basically if soccer and basketball came together and just one of the most unstable game possible. It's amazing. I love it so much. It's such a good game. Everyone, and it's like it's a surprisingly high skill ceiling game, right? It takes a lot of skill to be able to play it, because pretty much like you can't hold the ball for too long, you can't kick the ball for too long, and the goalies have to be prepared for anything, right? The goalies in handball have to be ready for someone to try to kick or throw the ball, and if they're not, well, it's surprisingly high. Like, I say high stakes. High stakes is not necessarily the correct term, but it's surprisingly high skill ceiling. There's you wouldn't expect it to be as difficult as you would think it would be, seeing how it's like, oh, you're allowed to use your hands and feet, and you can throw the ball into a soccer goal, because that's pretty much what it is. It's a soccer goal. It might be a little smaller, it might be a little bigger, I don't know exactly. The ones that we used in high school were pretty small, and I was pretty much the guy to block things. I was a really good goalie in high school, but that was, again, for pretty much amateur sports, right? So I probably could not hold up against like a professional handballer, but it was a really fun sport. I really like soccer, or football as every other country calls it, but the way that it should be, because you kick ball with foot. But it's really like, there's a lot of sports that I feel like could do really well in America if people had a better appreciation for what sports are and what they mean. But for the most part, I feel like the average American populace is hit them hard, pretty much. There's not a whole lot of care for like what sportsmanship is, and nothing displays that better than video games, I feel, because video games can have very toxic fan bases, right? Where like you go up, you're playing a video game, you want to pick Tracer, and then some guy comes around and it's like, you should pick Mercy, stuff like that, pretty much. And in my opinion, people should be allowed to play games how they want to play games, but there's a lot of weird things about sports that I'm not too fond of, and it's a big reason why I don't contribute to like the sporting economy. Like a lot of people who are in professional sports are effectively forced to be public, you know, which, you know, whenever you go into something like that, you know, you should expect, right? Like, yeah, I'm putting myself into the public image, you know, a lot of people watch this sport, it's a public event, right? I should expect to be publicly viewed, but, you know, in their contracts, they're generally required to be out, like, on news media and stuff like that. This base is going to have... Is this base going to have some windows, or is it going to be consumed by darkness? Yeah, I have a... Yeah, there's going to be some windows. Like, especially right down there where, like, the mountain kind of curves out around. I'm planning on making that, like, a big, green room, I think is what those are called. So... by the way, if you ever plan on making a house green room, terrible idea. Eats electricity. They're super inefficient. Yeah, just don't make them. But, especially if you want to make your house worth more by getting it, like, Energy Star certified or something like that. But, yeah, I have a lot of plans for this base. This base is gonna be bumping. But, of course, gonna take a little bit of time. Especially with, how much stone brick it's gonna take to have to make this. But, for now, I'm making it windowless just because that's easier, you know? And I'll go on the outside of it and, you know, clean it up, make it a bit more pronounced later. But for now, I'm just kind of getting the general shape down. There's a lot of people that have, like, very specific building rules in Minecraft that, you know, like, some of the rules that people have for building in Minecraft are crazy. It's like, I thought building rules in real life could be strict at points. Ah, man. Minecraft builders are a whole new level of strict. And it's crazy. Like, there's some people that have, like, these super in-depth creative minds in Minecraft, and it's like, I don't know how you do that in my... how do you get that creative in block game? Like... you know? But, I wonder where Tyler is. I'm gonna check on that real quick. Because he should be streaming today, unless he's not. Like, fairly certain he had plans on doing it. Well, yeah, I know he had plans on doing it. He put it in the Discord. Yeah. I have one rule, and that is make every house at good place with a nice view and make it beautiful and symmetrical. I have nice view. I don't know about everything else. Symmetry is generally a pretty good rule. I usually make all my buildings fairly symmetrical, you know, within reason. You know, there's some design languages where it's like, you can't have it symmetrical. But, you know, for the most part, symmetry is generally pretty nice. You know, the human brain do like symmetry. Oh, look at that. How did it get brighter in here? I close it off and all of a sudden it's like, oh, so much brighter. But, starting to feel a little bit more like a good base. Yeah, but basically my plans are, especially like right here, big plans to turn this into like a big glass room so that way I can go over and like look off and see the lack of anything that you can really see from up here. But you know, but I'm kind of interested to know what it's gonna look like from externally. At terraforming, dude. The thing about Minecraft terraforming, I don't like. It's complicated. Like I can't also do a lot of terraforming. I hope that's how you spell it. I think that's how you spell terraforming. That sounds correct. I mean, I understood what you meant, so that's pretty much what's important. But like when it comes to terraforming, for some reason, I just can't really do it. I mean, granted, this is amplified, so like trying to make things blend in with the environment in an amplified world, a little bit of a different can of beans. But like in, you know, like a normal world, I can't make anything really match for some reason. Like that's well beyond my pedigree, and I don't know why. I just, for some reason, my brain's like, yep, can't do it. One moment, I'm getting a phone call. Alright, I'm back. I'm off of the phone now. I can make artificial mountains. Okay. I don't know how to do that. Just like, I've tried figuring out how to make like artificial mountains in Minecraft. Like, I need like a college course to explain that to me. Like fundamental building principles of making Minecraft mountains, because some reason I just can't do it. I don't know why. Like, just making natural looking terrain in Minecraft, just can't do it. I don't know why. I don't know how people do it. I wish I could. The amount of stuff that I could bring to fruition from my brain hole cavity would be pretty amazing. But the issue is that, you know, I just simply can't, you know, for whatever reason, I just can't, you know, get whatever I'm trying to think of into Minecraft, you know? Gonna need a little bit more stone brick. Stone cutter, best thing they ever added into Minecraft. I learned it myself, no tutorial or anything. Yeah, definitely a possibility, definitely something that would be interested. I am getting another phone call. I am sorry, give me a moment. Alright, I'm back. I just got off of the phone call with one of my friends, and he just went through something pretty rough, so I'm probably gonna have to wrap up the stream so that way I can go and help him with the thing that he's dealing with. But luckily for you, this won't be all the content that I'm releasing today. I'm going to be releasing that final video of Superliminal. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can watch it and try to share it with some of your friends, you know, because, you know, of course, me saying the biggest problem with my channel right now is my username. People can't really find it on YouTube. So like, send my videos to some of your friends, see if they'll be willing to subscribe, you know, help me get to 100 subscribers so that way people can find me, you know. That would be really cool. But thank you so much, guys. You know, if it's just you or if there's some other people that I can't see right now because they haven't been commenting. But thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. You all are very important to me. Have a good rest of your day. And I will be, you know, live again sometime soon. Goodbye. Sleep. Good night.